the ride home in ENC.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
This is your 5 o'clock drive with Patrick Johnson.
Holy mackerel!
More news, more interviews, more ECU stories than you can shake a stick at. Hey, stop shaking that stick. This is the Patrick Johnson Show.
Pirates win! Pirates win!
On 94.3 The Game.
Welcome into the Friday edition of the Patrick Johnson Show. P-Man is out today. Philip Pilkington and Dom Kasolki filling in for the P-Man. So I welcome my producer and co-host to the show today. Dom, how's it going?
It's going great, man. I'm happy to be here. Sometimes I get the bullpen call up when Patrick's not in.
You did get the call up. The midseason call up. We had to Patrick went on the 1-day IL. And Dom was promoted from AAA.
I'll be sent down in just a few minutes.
Yeah,
Just
you're up for
56
one game.
minutes. I'll be down. Maybe I'll have a good outing.
Not even the full hour. That's right. We got a break at the end of the hour. 56 minutes
Maybe.
of Dom, and 56 minutes and 50 seconds of Dom Kasolki.
Yeah, I've been showcasing in AAA, been looking pretty good, but hopefully, each time up, I get better and better.
There you go. Welcome to the Bigs, Marcelo Meyer.
Thank you.
We'll get into that a little bit.
Yeah, I'd love to.
We're going to talk a little baseball. We're going to talk a little basketball. I know that our fan base or our listenership here, you guys are not like avid NBA fans. We're not going to go too deep in the NBA, but there was a point that was brought up in the game last night. Kind of what Dom and I had hit on. We got a few baseball things. Talk about Joey Baseball's Yankees and how they are struggling. They did get back in the win column last night or yesterday afternoon with a win over the LA Angels. But we're just going to talk a lot of fun stuff. Kind of free for all Friday, as the title says, if you're joining us on the stream. So this is going to be fun. I'm excited, Dom.
Let's do it, man. Let's get into it.
All right. But we're going to start out with a fun trivia question for Dom.
Yep, I'm ready.
Full disclosure, I would have not gotten this right if someone asked me this.
Okay, glad you said that.
So we are going to laugh with Dom, not at Dom.
Well, watch me get it. Maybe there's no laughing at
Once
me.
you get it, if you get it, I'm definitely buying your lunch.
Is it multiple choice?
Kind of.
Okay. I got a
Ish.
chance then.
Ish. It's
All right.
multiple choice-ish. So, when you're scrolling through social media every now and again, you'll get those random things pop up. And I had a random graphic pop up the other day.
Okay.
So it's multiple choice, but it's out of 50.
Oh, okay.
Well, I guess not out of 50, technically, because some states don't have FBS football programs. Like Alaska is automatically out, and Maine and Rhode Island and that. So it's okay. It's out of 40 or something. So it said the highest winning percentage state in all of FBS college football. So meaning it took the records of all the teams that reside in that state. Who has the highest winning percentage?
Oh gosh. Okay. This is tough. Obviously, a lot of choices.
Yeah. Don't say North Dakota, South Dakota, Montana.
No, I wasn't going to go.
Maine, Rhode Island, New Hampshire, Vermont, or Alaska, because those do not have FBS football teams.
Well, thanks for making sure I didn't look extra stupid. I feel like it's got to be somewhere in the South, somewhere south and southeast range. Maybe I could go. First guess, Oklahoma.
No, Oklahoma is 6th on the list.
Okay,
Their 3 teams combined for a 59.1 winning percentage.
That's not a bad guess.
It's not. If you miss again, I will give you a hint.
I mean, I guess I got to go Georgia.
Georgia is 5th on the list.
Okay, top
at
6.
30.3. All righty. I'm going to tell you that this state only has one FBS football team.
Oh gosh. Now, I'm not as big of a college football fan as others that we get on the show. I love ECU sports, but keeping up with all college football is not always on my forte. So just knowing only one school having it, man. Obviously not Florida. So Florida's off the list.
Yeah, California, Texas, don't guess any of those.
It's not going to be one of the biggest states. Maybe Louisiana.
Well, Louisiana's got a few FBS teams.
Okay, I'm just trying to.
I would tell you this team is like always good.
Always good too.
They're one team. Buy them when you hear the answer, because this is how I was. I was like, well, duh. Like it's that.
Yeah, I'm gonna feel stupid.
No, here's the thing. It's not that easy to come up with, but when you hear it, like you're not surprised at all.
Not Virginia, right? Not
No,
Virginia.
because they got Virginia and Virginia Tech.
Yeah. So
And ODU and JMU.
West Virginia?
No.
No.
They
Okay.
have Marshall and West Virginia.
I didn't know if they only had.
I would
West
tell you
Virginia.
the one team did make the college football playoff last year. They had a few years of 8-4 a few years ago, and that was terrible for this team.
Idaho.
Idaho,
Okay,
Boise, Boise
I was
State.
thinking Boise State earlier, but I don't know. It just didn't cross my mind that
Yeah.
like that was their one team.
So Idaho is 6.1 percentage points winning percentage higher than any other state in the country.
Gosh.
Because they are 74.1, followed by another state with only one school that I wouldn't have guessed this, but this is because it goes through the team's entirety of their FBS history. It is Nebraska.
Oh,
with-
okay.
At 68%. But, Nebraska hasn't been good recently. They were just good back in, the 50s. So,
Yeah.
So that was a little fun. Like I said, we're laughing with you, Dom, not at you, because I would have been like, I don't know, man. There's not really any bad teams
Yeah.
in Florida. Or yeah, there is. There's FAU. There's not any bad teams in Texas. Even Texas State at least goes 500 every year.
Yeah.
I guess there is Rice. So
It only took me 7 guesses, maybe 8.
yeah, that really wasn't bad. But I just thought it was cool. That's the reason I brought it up. It's we all think of these powerhouse places
Yeah.
and don't even think about the because now that you hear it, would you say it was obvious?
Well, I think it was obvious when you said that there was only one team in
Yeah.
the state. Yeah, I think it got more obvious then. I probably wouldn't have guessed it just off the jump even.
Oh, and I wouldn't have either. That's the thing. It's hard to think about it because that's not where your mind goes.
Yeah.
But when you hear it, where you're like, well, duh, because there's no other team to bring them down. Because now, if Idaho State at FBS and they were on this list, they probably would not have
Yeah,
Boise.
would
Not in the
bounce them
state of
down
Idaho.
just
Yeah,
a little bit.
but they're the only current FBS team.
You heard it here. Boise State, the best team in FBS.
I don't know if they're the best
The
team.
best team right there.
Yeah,
got it.
Idaho's just the best state because you got to think Ohio State's just got a lot of bad teams that bring the state of Ohio down, like Akron, who goes
Yeah.
0-12 every year, and Oklahoma has Tulsa, who will probably beat ECU because
Hating on American teams, man.
I know.
Can't do it.
Hey, hate it on Akron. Should the MAC even count? That's the thing. Ohio would probably be on this list if it was only Ohio State.
Mm.
But they've got 5 MAC schools in Ohio. Should the MAC even count as FBS?
Not really. just kick them out at this point.
Oh my goodness. Miami of Ohio is playing Bowling Green, everybody. Tuesday night action.
Put it on ESPN.
Let's do it.
Prime time, baby.
I do love the Tuesday night action snow games, though. When Buffalo is playing Eastern Michigan and there's
Yeah.
a foot of snow on the ground on a Tuesday night in November and I have nothing else to do.
Can't get away from a snow game. Everybody loves the snow. It doesn't matter who's playing in those games.
Exactly. I want to see two Southern teams get sent. Just start playing neutral site games, how the NFL plays international games.
Yeah.
I want San Diego State and Hawaii to have to play a game at Lambeau Field.
You'll see some Tua-type performances in the cold because Tua cannot play in the cold, man. I think that'd be a lot of hard hands that can't catch the ball.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Speaking of Hawaii, did you see they're bringing back the throwback uniforms this year?
I didn't. Are they really?
Yeah, the old school one from the 80s that actually have the rainbow on the helmet.
Oh,
I
that's
think
sick.
they look kind of cool.
Yeah, no, that's sick.
They're a little tacky, but they're cool tacky.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm kind of looking forward to it.
Let's see how they look. Let's see if they do anything different to them because you never know.
Yeah.
They always try to make their own spin off of it.
Yeah, and a
Never-
lot of times they ruin it.
Never can do it completely retro.
Yeah. Sometimes it's just because it's the colors were more dull then. So we're going to try and bring brighter colors. And then with that, they get out of hand and start putting weird outlines on them and
Yeah.
try and emphasize things because even the rainbow on the helmets used to be it wasn't a bright rainbow. It wasn't the pride rainbow.
Mm,
Best thing to compare it to because
Yeah.
it's June and it's all we're seeing on social media.
correct.
But yeah, it's kind of I don't know. I kind of like the old school. I do get the new jerseys. It's fun to have bright colors and uniforms, but there's something cool about when you see footage from the 70s, and I know part of it's the cameras, but the jerseys weren't as bright, especially in a sport like football. Football's supposed to be a tough, manly sport. I don't want the jerseys sometimes to be bright. Let's have these dull colors. It makes them look meaner, I think.
Yeah, that is fair. Although I do love some. I don't know why. I really like neon jerseys, like those Oregon neon jerseys, like when they're bright green. I know they're a little bit darker, but they still light it up.
They do.
Those type of jerseys. I do kind of like the Color Rush themed jerseys in both leagues.
See, I like it, but I like it as like an alternate deal.
Yeah, no, not like an everyday type of or every game. And obviously, you're not playing every day.
Yeah.
Football, if you want CTE. But yeah, once a year, bring them out, and showcase them.
I like the old ECU jerseys that say East Carolina on the front.
Mm-hmm.
They have like I mixed back when the jerseys had the breathable holes in them.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You just look mean.
Yeah.
Picture your boys, the purple people eaters, looking mean.
Oh, yeah.
The steel curtain, the orange crush. Those Broncos old orange jerseys were terribly light. Now they're all bright and pretty.
Yeah.
I think it looked tougher back in the days of Tom Jackson. But,
Yeah.
This is what it is. Enough jersey talk, because I have to do that on IGO show today too. So.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, it's all about. We're like doing like favorite jersey combo. Bobby's a sucker for some jerseys, so that's our topic.
Yeah,
that was our topic. So.
Oh, yeah, it is Friday, so
yeah,
that's the type of day to talk.
It is, and it's the off season. What the heck else are we going to talk about?
Yeah, it's not too much going on. ECU's done now.
Yeah. But not everybody is, so we will talk a little bit about that.
Yep.
Like I said, Dom and I are going to do a baseball segment and a basketball segment. Now, this has been a pretty short first segment, but so that we don't have to cut off topics for a break, I don't want to get us started on anything, so let's go ahead and take an early commercial break, Dom.
All right.
If that's good with you.
Yeah.
And we'll do baseball next. We'll do a generic baseball thing. We're going to find a way to kind of bridge that into our College World Series picks. Obviously, that begins tomorrow night, or the College World Series final begins tomorrow night at 7 Eastern, maybe 8 Eastern. I don't know. Got to look it up. I'll look it up during the break. But anyways, that'll be our next topic. Baseball, MLB, college. On the other side, this is the Friday edition of the Patrick Johnson Show.
The team of Flatlands Jessup is working overtime to help ensure that Eastern North Carolinians like you get the health insurance help you need this open enrollment period. New legislation passed, meaning more people than ever qualify for affordable coverage. Let us help you today.
The best burgers around. Everyone loves a thick, juicy, and fresh burger. Tiebreakers in Greenville, plus the all-new Tiebreakers in Winterville, do real burgers better than anybody. So don't just go to any burger-themed restaurant chain. It's time to break the chain and eat local. Tiebreakers, real burgers at its best.
Everybody loves burgers.
Big tax credits are back. Get a 30% tax credit, up to $2,000 off your new Mitsubishi electric heat pump install. Let Comfort Master help you take advantage of the tax credits with a qualifying Mitsubishi electric ducted heat pump or non-ducted Mitsubishi electric mini splits. Mitsubishi electric mini splits are ideal for bonus rooms, garages, or sunrooms. If you need a new HVAC unit, call Comfort Master today.
Call Comfort Master. Call Comfort Master.
You know what the problem is with standard belts? Usually you have to choose between too tight or the opposite, too loose. But with Anson Belt & Buckle, you don't have to choose. We got rid of the holes and instead have a track system designed for micro-adjustability. That way you can enjoy a perfect fit every time. Anson Belt & Buckle. Find your perfect fit today.
Healthwise Pharmacy rounds the bases with all of your infusion, retail, compounding, and medical equipment needs. Locally owned and operated by pharmacist Marcy Parker, Healthwise has grown to be your most trusted provider for infusion services. Currently providing in-home or on-site infusions in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia. Visit Healthwise Pharmacy at 615B South Memorial Drive or call 252-295-0059 to speak to a patient service representative to find the option that best suits your needs.
Tired of the 1-800 numbers advertising Medicare products? Flatlands Jessup has 6 offices all throughout Eastern North Carolina. Get face-to-face help from our local award-winning licensed team. Stop by today. Flatlands Jessup, your whole world covered.
It's back.
Inner Banks Media presents the #1 outdoor concert series in Greenville.
Concert on the Common.
The next band to hit the stage at the Greenville Toyota Amphitheater is On the Border, the ultimate ultimate Eagles tribute.
Get more details on this year's concert series at concertonthecommon.org. See you June 26th for On the Border. We're back to the show.
I missed you. We all missed you. Did you miss him?
This is the Patrick Johnson Show on 94.3 The Game.
Welcome back into the Patrick Johnson Show here on this Friday. Philip Pilkington and Dom Kasolki filling in for the P-Man. We're going to talk a little MLB baseball as well as a little bit of college baseball. 7 o'clock tomorrow night, Game 1 of the finals of the Men's College World Series between the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers and the LSU Tigers. Obviously, we got a really deep dive into this yesterday with Mike Mullis on the show, but Dom and I are going to make our picks because any analysis we could give you would not be to the level of one Mike Mullis,
Not
so
close.
we're not going to try.
Yep, not even close.
However, we are going to open our discussion, and I apologize to people who do not 100% care about this, but I did get to say my piece on our airways earlier in the week as it related to the Raffy Devers trade. So, Mr. Kasolki, obviously I am disappointed, but I am not as upset maybe as most Sox fans. I would say I'm on the least ticked off edge. You're probably the middle, and then guys like our friend Zach Kaplan are like, I'm worried about him jumping off the Green Street Bridge. No, I'm just kidding. I probably shouldn't say that. I saw him Monday night, and he was like in flip-flops and walking around. He's like, man, I'm so bad. But anyways, so you are right down the middle, I think, on this thing. Say your piece.
Yeah, I'm definitely right down the middle because it could go both ways. And you said maybe not everybody cares about it, but if you care about baseball and MLB in general, it's a pretty big trade. I mean, trades like this do happen, but it was so out of the blue, and that's kind of why I'm in the middle. It felt like the Red Sox didn't shop Devers, and Devers could have gone for more. It felt more like the front office, John Henry, Craig Breslow, kind of just wanted him out of there, didn't like his attitude, wanted him to play on the bases, but they just ruined their relationship early in the season. It came out that Devers was upset that our rookie didn't offer to play first base after Devers had said no, but it also came out that Devers said he just wanted security that he would be on first base the entire season. So, I mean, I see both sides, and I hate that we got rid of our franchise guy, especially after doing it, multiple times before. I know you've been probably a longer Sox fan than I have, just watching-wise, and I mean, doing it to Mookie, Xander kind of walked in free agency, but now doing it to Devers, it hurts to see your best player go and to not get as good of a trade package as you would have liked. But the good news is we got rid of his whole entire contract, and we got promising pitching. Jordan Hicks could be a good bullpen, late inning guy, and then Kyle Harrison could end up being. I mean, he's 23 years old. And he's a nice lefty, a weird kind of motion that he throws with on the bump, and he could end up being like a promising 1-2 guy along with Crochet. You have two nasty lefties if he ends up being really good, and I think he will be really good. So I think the players back might end up being promising, but just getting rid of Raffy the way they did kind of hurts more than anything. But the players back, I think some people are underestimating the players back that we did get.
You mentioned us like loving to trade away the franchise guy.
Yeah.
At least we always send them to the West Coast and the National League.
That's true.
Manny Ramirez, Josh Beckett trade, which also had Adrian Gonzalez in it, all to the Dodgers. Let Xander walk to the Padres. Mookie got sent to the Dodgers, and now the Giants. So at least we're not doing what we did with George Herman Ruth and sending them to the Bronx and keeping them in the division and doing that. At least we're getting them the heck on the West Coast.
That's true. Yeah, I said they didn't shop them, which they didn't shop them too heavily, but I did see there was interest from other teams, and the Blue Jays were one of those teams, and I think the asking price was Jose Barrios. So that's the thing is I feel like we could have gotten the cemented starter that could help us win now, but they could be thinking future. 23-year-old could end up being an ace type guy on the mound, and you got a couple of prospects. One guy that was FSU first-round pick, ACC Player of the Year just last year in Tibbs, an outfielder. So, I mean, we did get some good pieces back, and who knows how it works out, and who knows how Devers Swing works over in San Francisco. I mean, he doesn't have the monster anymore, and that's a deep right field.
It is, yeah. Does he put one in the Bay this weekend? By the way, for those who don't know, the Sox do play in San Francisco tonight.
Yeah, of course.
Tomorrow and Sunday.
Of course. They're later games if you guys want to stay up and watch them.
Stay up with us.
They're at like 10:15, 10:40 type of starts, so late games in San Francisco. He 100% sends one out. I have no doubt. I think we win the series. We play Robbie Ray on the last night of the series, but I think we take the first 2 games. I'm hoping so.
If I lived in the Bay Area and I had a kayak, I know where I would be this weekend.
You got to be out there. You know he's swinging for the fences every single time. And, I mean, he's not facing Crochet, so he doesn't have to face our lefty ace. We'll see. One of those games he faces Giolito, so that's probably the game he sends one out.
I think Stevie Wonder might be able to take Giolito deep right now.
I don't know. Giolito's had like 2 outings in a row with like 6 innings and only 1 or less earned. And then
unlike Walker.
2 before that is like 7 innings and no earned. So the last 3 out of 4 outings he's actually been good, but that means he's due for a bad one. That's why I'm worried. And yes, Walker Buehler. Don't even get me started on him. I can't go on a tangent on him. I know nobody wants to listen to that.
Yeah. We'll quit boring people with Red Sox talk.
We
will not quit boring people with American League East talk.
No.
The Yankees, and I'm not picking on them because they're still in first place. So Yankees fans, don't start cussing me before I start talking.
Yep.
Finally snapped their losing streak. Still in first place. Still in a good spot. Knock on wood. And I really do mean this genuinely because as much as I hate the Yankees, I don't want to see any players get injured.
No,
They have avoided the injury bug that normally hits them around this time of year. Should Yankees fans be worried that the Yankees all of a sudden are playing like the dog days of summer Yankees? Or, Dom, is this just a bad week and everybody has a bad week in baseball because it's 162 in law of averages? So you're going to play like crap for a week span at some point.
I feel like the Yankees always kind of have some kind of downfall in later June. They always start like really hot, get way ahead of everybody, and then it ends up getting closer towards the end of the season because of a spot like this. So I do think they're fine, but at the same time, I don't know. They have Stanton back. You said they missed the injury bug, so they just got their designated hitter back. We'll see how he hits. I mean, he's either hot, like super hot, or super cold. He can either, really hurt the offense by sitting in the cleanup spot or, send some 3-run bombs out in the first inning every single game. I think Volpe needs to clean up the defense. His defense, Gold Glover last year, in this losing streak, 6-game losing streak, his defense has not looked good. He's had like 3 or 4 errors. He had a couple against the Red Sox. He had a game-losing error against the Angels where it was an easy, routine double play, didn't make the play. And I think they need to get middle infielders. I don't think, their left side with DJ and Volpe, they need somebody else other than DJ if they want to make a run for that World Series again. And I do think that they should have some worry in them, but I also think it's baseball. I don't know, maybe I'm hating, but I don't think it's their year again. I think they had their chance and they blew it.
I don't think their window's closed, but hypothetically here, they don't end up the 1 seed. When I say the 1, I'm not necessarily saying in the American League. I'm saying even if there's a National League team that's seeded over them that they have to go to in the World Series. Because now the All-Star game doesn't determine home field anymore. It's just record.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying, it only takes 1 game on the road, right, to win, to flip the series, but then you still have to go undefeated at home. What worries me with the Yankees is they've got a lot of left-handed power with a easy ballpark to hit the ball out to right field. And when the home runs aren't flowing, which they haven't been over the last week and a half.
Yeah, 3 scoreless games.
They don't know how to score runs without the long ball. I think that's the reason this Yankees team right now hasn't won a World Series. I mean, there's nobody left from their last World Series championship team because the talent's there because they're there in the playoffs every year. They have a lot of ALCS appearances. Last year, to your point, they made the World Series. But I think you have to be able to hit the long ball because if you look at any championship team, whether it be college or the pros, at some point, whether it was in the finals or the CS or, just in Omaha, before they got to the finals, there is one signature home run, and I feel like in every World Series run. So I think you've got to be able to hit them, but you cannot rely on them. And when you look at the Yankees teams of the past, all those guys with Jeter, A-Rod, Posada, Matsui, those guys, those teams really knew how to score runs. Yeah, there was some pop in those bats, as guys I just mentioned, but they knew how to score runs in a multitude of ways, and that is what I would challenge the Yankees to do between now and the playoffs. Look, obviously you can't just abandon what you're good at and mess up and not make the playoffs, but I think they should still get in. They're pretty good on the mound. They don't have to see Devers 7 more times this year now.
Yeah, lucky guys.
Yeah.
That's
Congratulations,
also
Garrett Cole.
Yeah, the Yankee killer is gone. That's also a big thing that's upsetting is that he was our guy to kill the Yankees.
He was.
So, yeah, they got to tighten up their swing. They just it's too free of a swing trying to bring it deep every single time, and they have, like you said, the short porch in right field and a lot of lefty power, so they have the ability to get it there even without swinging for the fences every time. But just play some smaller ball, get some Cliff Godwin knowledge.
Would you love to see the Yankees play Cliff ball?
No, I don't want them to win. So
I don't think they could do it. I don't know if they'd have a bunt.
Probably
Could you imagine
not.
Judge bunting?
He's not getting there in time. I don't care where he puts it down. He's too slow.
Oh, he's fast enough. He'd be like too dorky out of the box. I couldn't. He already looks goofy standing there with a bat, and I'm not trying to bag on the guy because the reason he looks goofy is just because the bat looks like those little wooden bat giveaways you get sometimes, or like when you're playing like Mario Brothers baseball and like Bowser had this little bat in his hand. That's what it looks like, and it's credit to his size. But yeah, him trying to bunt.
I mean, he's incredible. So it's just those are the only things you can really hate on him on.
I know, yeah.
Is those type of things, because regular season he's incredible. Playoffs he still has something to prove. I believe so.
Is he the Kershaw of hitters?
Maybe. I mean, we'll see. I mean, he's going to get another playoff run this year, so we'll see without Juan Soto sitting right in front of him.
Yeah.
Does he have it, or behind him? I kind of forget.
I think it kind of rotated.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
So one time they had Judge hitting leadoff, and then they went back and put him back in the 3-hole. So it changed. I don't know what it was in the playoffs. I think it was consistent in the playoffs, but I don't remember what it was. Anyways, we'll quit. I promise we'll go off the AL East talk now. But we're going to go into another debate topic. Last night, Yamamoto from the Dodgers, one pitch away from an immaculate inning, throws what should have been a strike right down the middle, upper part of the zone, but still very much in it. It's called a ball. Should robot umpiring, or at least X amount of challenges per inning or per game, be allowed for balls and strikes in Major League and college baseball, Dom?
I feel bad for Yamamoto because, that it wasn't even too much upper zone. I mean, if you're looking at the box, it's like the second, two-thirds up of the way, and it was straight in the middle of the zone. So I do believe that robot umps are needed, but before robot umps, I want to get that ABS challenge system in. That was used in spring ball for all the teams. You could use it. If you don't know what that is, the pitcher can challenge a non-strike call. If it's a ball and he thinks it was a strike, he can challenge that. Or the catcher does that. And the batter can decide if he thinks it was a ball or he thinks it was a strike. I mean, I don't think he's going to do that to himself, but if he does think it wasn't a strike, he's going to challenge it. But you only have one per inning, or how?
I think it's per inning.
I think it's 1 per inning. So if you lose that, then you're not going to get it again that inning. So it is it's kind of like another challenge system. And some people might not like the fact that it slows down the game. You just got the pitch clock in, so the game has sped up, and a lot of people have adjusted and like that pitch clock. I'm one of them. But I also think when you saw them trying it in spring training, they did it really quickly because they just have the system right up and ready. If it hits the zone, they're going to call it quickly. If it doesn't, bang, he's, whatever the call is, they get it really quickly. It's not sitting there for a 5-minute challenge like the NBA. So I do think that's what needs to come first.
I'm with you to an extent. I think I would like the challenge thing as opposed to more of the robot umpire.
Yeah.
It's only happened 118 times, by the way, in immaculate inning. That would have been 119.
Wow.
Dates all the way back to the beginning of Major League Baseball in the early 1900s. So it's a rare feat. It's not as rare as a perfect game, but it's still rare.
Yeah.
Little luck involved in that one, obviously. You gotta be a good pitcher, but the reason that pitches like last night are the reason that I'm for it.
Yep.
Now, one of the reasons I'm not as for it is this. I believe in great catchers. And I do believe that sometimes catchers can make borderline good pitches, or probably perfect pitches because they're barely in the zone. If they drop them, it sometimes forces the umpire to call a ball.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes where it might just miss the plate a little bit, or a lot of bit in Caden Bodine's case, as we've seen those graphics on Twitter, make it a strike. And I do think there is a greatness in great catching, great defensive catching. Yes, you got to be able to block the baseball, but there's something about stealing strikes. There is an art to it. You think of guys like Buster Posey and now Caden Bodine, and it's going to be interesting where he goes in the draft. That is the one thing, Dom, I don't want this to be so much of a thing that we then undervalue good catchers. And now, obviously, in college baseball, going to more scholarships, there's going to be, more opportunities for everybody. But there was a time where it's like, man, if you weren't a pitcher or a catcher, you weren't getting any scholarship money. And the reason that catchers did, because their ability to steal strikes.
I still think it's going to matter, even with an ABS challenge system. Maybe not as much robot umps, but with the challenge system, as we talked about, there's only so many times you can do it, and if you get it wrong, then you're already, in the dirt. You're not getting it anymore in that inning, at least. So it's still going to matter to steal strikes. It's still going to matter to, be able to block behind the plate, be able to frame. It's what pop time you have. I think pop time maybe would be even more involved if there's not as much framing and stealing strikes. Then you got to have the pop time, because if runners are going to run all over you and get in the scoring position that easily, you're not going to be as valued. So I think the value might be decreased a little bit if with the ABS system challenge, or however you're going to call it. But I still think it's incredibly important to have a good catcher. Maybe robot umps is a different story, though, and I don't know how close we are to that. I know next year I believe that the ABS challenge is coming in.
Okay. Well, that's a good point, though. The blocking and the pop time is big still. And especially because now you can only check so many times, right, at first. So I almost think that's even made pop time more important, because now you have less pickoff attempts.
Yep.
I mean, you don't have Mo throwing over at Dave Roberts 7 times or whatever it was.
Yeah, they're just trying to speed up the game. They did it with the pitch clock. They do it with that. And, I mean, if you got a speedy runner on first base and you got a catcher with no pop time, and that's like you're getting double after a walk.
True.
You walk and you get to second base. It's like you just smacked a double to the wall.
And then, like your point, if you're a speedy runner, there's that much better chance that you score on a single than, my slow butt running around out there, Cal Raleigh.
Manufacture runs if you're playing against a catcher that can't throw.
Good point.
I think it's still going to be a big factor to make sure he's good defensively.
All right, I want to segue this into our picks.
Okay.
And since we're talking about great pitching or great catching, if Caden Bodine's there at 40, should we draft him?
If we don't make a trade for a catcher at the deadline, yes. I'm cool with that.
I think so.
I want to draft that Arkansas pitcher, Gage.
Oh, yeah. Gabe.
Gabe.
Gosh, what's his last name?
I don't know. Through the no-hitter.
Through the no-no.
Yeah, that's insane.
He was already projected first-round pick. Yeah, gosh, what is his last name? I can't remember. Anyways, so yeah, all right. Well, we are 35 minutes now into the show, so we do need a second break. So quickly, Dom, not too quickly, but quick enough. Pick this weekend: Beach Chickens, Bayou Bengals. Who you got?
By your standards, I got the Beach Chickens. I got the Chanticleers. Let's hope they win it. And in my eyes, I mean, ECU losing to that team, I feel like that maybe even brings up some sort of moral victory. I know a lot of people might not think that.
You lost to the best team. They beat everybody.
Exactly. I mean, we went and smacked Florida, like absolutely smacked them. And then we played really good. I mean, Zayac with an incredible outing against them. I mean, we played really well against them, for the first 6 innings of the first game too, before it kind of got out of hand. So those games, it's not like we just got dominated for all of both of those games. So I think we put up a good fight against possibly the winner of the entire thing, and I think that's something to brag about.
Yeah, and then you said, hey, if we wouldn't have drawn them, maybe they just would have beat us in Omaha.
Yeah, who knows?
They beat everybody.
What about you?
I'm gonna go with Coastal, and I really think this is 50-50. I think that LSU is very set up to win a super regional type situation, because I said when they were in a region, the first beginning of Omaha is a regional situation. So the only way LSU does this is if they win the first 2. They could go 3-1, like lose their third game, but I don't think they've got the pitching depth to be really good if they had to play like 5 games in 4 days. Now, obviously, that's not the situation. It's best 2 out of 3. Mm-hmm. So the reason I'm going to go with Coastal is because if this thing were to get out of hand one day and there'd be a really high-scoring game, even if LSU wins it, and both teams get a little behind on the mound, I think you give the nod to Coastal because I think they have more pitching depth. Mm-hmm. I think they're a little better at manufacturing runs, and I think that's been their problem the last few years. They're kind of like the Yankees, rely too much on the long ball. And I think the mind is a powerful thing, and they believe right now because 26 in a row, baby, is pretty darn cool. So that's what I got. But I'm not going to be surprised either way. Again, LSU's got some top arms. They're really good. I really think this is a 50-50. I'm just going on Coastal, to be honest. And like I said, if you would have a 12-10 game, there's a better chance that not affecting Coastal as much later in the weekend as it would LSU. So hedging my bets.
I like it. I also, just quick point, I feel so bad for that Arkansas left fielder. I know. I can't stand it for him.
Yeah.
That sucks. It's baseball. I mean, it kills you.
It does. I feel like your mistakes, and it can happen in any sport, but your mistakes are overemphasized. It shows up so much more in baseball. I mean, there's the J.R. Smith running out, then dribbling the clock out. We thought they had there's crazy stuff in other sports, but the most basic ones get so much personified in baseball, more so than other sports.
Yep.
So, all right. Well, it is 5:38, almost 5:39. So we need to get our second break in. We're a little behind. We're going to come back. We are going to talk a little hoops on the other side. This is the Friday edition of the Patrick Johnson Show.
Hey, it's Jim Wells again with Wells Roofing and Gutters here in the beautiful community of Lindale, Bedford. At Wells Roofing and Gutters, we believe in quality first. And that's why we use CertainTeed shingles, which are manufactured in Oxford, North Carolina, a local company. In the event you ever do have a claim or a problem with your roof system, they're local and they come and take care of us in a timely manner. We could leave off some accessories and we could certainly save money, but we believe at Wells Roofing and Gutters in installing the correct way per manufacturer requirements, and we warranty your roof both in-house and also with our supplier, who is CertainTeed. For a job Wells done, no shortcuts taken, and a good quality job on your home, give us a call today, 252-227-8403. We also offer financing, 12 months, no interest, no payments.
This is about you, your family, and the health of all who live in Eastern North Carolina. This is about the transformation of a health system into something more powerful and more human. About creating new ways to treat disease and keep you well. This is about ECU Health, which is to say, it's really all about you. ECU Health. Minds, hearts, purpose.
You have a choice when you invest in insurance, and when you choose First State Insurance Advisors, you're working with people you can trust. Clark Stallings has deep ties in the community. His team, including Keaton Smith, Regina Asby, Phil Leva, Max Joyner Jr., Max Joyner III, and Ginger Smith, provides knowledgeable and professional advice. First State Insurance Advisors is an independent insurance agency. They offer all types of personal insurance as well as various types for business. Call or email First State Insurance Advisors today. We want to be your trusted choice agency.
Other restaurants claim their food is fresh and fast, but are they friendly? At Moore's, you're treated like family the minute you walk into their doors. With locations in Winterville, New Bern, Swansboro, Morehead City, and Jacksonville. We've been practicing what we preach since 1945. At Moore's, our barbecue is slow cooked and smoked over real wood daily until it's so tender it's falling off the bone. Combined with our fresh chicken, cooked-to-order seafood, and homemade fixins, we're sure you'll agree. If it's not Moore's, it's less.
Remember, get the podcast of the show on the IBX Media app or where you get your podcasts.
I listen on my Apple Watch.
Smart speaker.
Listen while you work.
I listen everywhere. The Patrick Johnson Show on 94.3 The Game.
Welcome back into the Friday edition of the Patrick Johnson Show. Free for all Friday. Just wrapped up a little baseball talk. Now we're going to go to basketball. You know, it's summertime. We can talk a little basketball. I mean, basketball is in the Summer Olympics, not the Winter Olympics. So I guess you can talk about basketball in the summer. And they're still playing NBA basketball. Thanks to a huge win from the Indiana Pacers last night. They have forced Game 7 Sunday night in Oklahoma City. Winner take all.
It's exciting.
It is. And the Pacers proved that they could win without a amazing offensive performance from Halliburton. We were talking about it earlier. He was still very effective in his time on court, but only 14 points. So, how do you see Game 7 going, Dom?
I mean, I could easily see it going either way. The Thunder have been dominant at home for the most part in this playoffs and all season long. I mean, they're on paper one of like the best teams of all time net rating wise. So a lot of people are saying that if they end up losing this series, especially after being up 3-2, this would be a pretty big choke job. I mean, this is their year to win it. It's like if our Celtics didn't win it last year, like it's when you're that good in the regular season and you've gotten your way through the playoffs. They had a little bit more trouble throughout the playoffs, having to get through the Nuggets in 7. So they've been in a Game 7 before. My heart tells me the Pacers. My brain tells me the Thunder. I'm going to go with the Pacers because I'm going to trust my heart more than my brain because sometimes that works out. And I don't know how much well, we used to be talking about betting more often. And I don't bet very often anymore. But with this series, I put some cash on the Pacers beforehand, and they're not letting me cash out right now. They suspended the cash out, so I can't even look to see if I wanted to take it. I just got to ride with the Pacers, so maybe that's why my heart is in it with them too. I can't believe they're doing that to me.
It's because they're not up in the series. They're up 3-2. You probably would have been able to.
Well, yeah, they had me at a very low cash out when they were down 3-2, and all my friends are, take the cash out. They're losing Game 6. This series is over. And I'm like, dude, it's 3-2. This doesn't mean the series is over. Do you guys not watch basketball at all? Like, I mean, anything can happen. And, I mean, there we go. They're all surprised they won Game 6, but I had my sights set on Game 7. And I called Pacers in 7 beforehand. Nobody has to believe me, but my friends know. I said that to them when we were talking about it a while ago, and so it's very possible.
All right. I'm going Thunder. They're tough at home. Shea's going to get some bad foul call at the end.
Oh, Oh, my God.
It's going to put him on the line, bail him out.
He already had bad foul calls last night.
He did.
I mean, he made the same amount of free throws as he did field goals and had more turnovers than he had field goals made.
Yeah. I'm going Thunder. I think too, the NBA would rather, when it comes to the officiating too, would rather going into next season be promoting the Thunder being returning champs than the Pacers being returning champs.
Yeah, probably.
Because, like, Chet is more marketable than Tyrese. And
Chet?
I like Halliburton.
You mean Shai?
I think both of them, but I even think Chet Holmgren is even, that's the point. Shai definitely is.
Okay, yeah, he definitely is.
And I would even say Chet being their number 2. I think those guys are, I mean, like, and Shai's gotten better, right, than he was on the Clippers, but, so that's part of it, but, like, he started getting big when Chet got there. That's when people started giving a crap.
I mean, maybe so, but he was the MVP this year, so I mean, he played well enough to get the credit. I don't think it's because of Chet. I think Chet is, I don't know. I don't want to be too harsh, but I think he's a little overrated in my eye. They put him in Wemby talks. I don't think he's in Wemby talks.
No.
I don't think he's up there. I think he's a bit overrated, and I think J-Dub, even since he had a -40 last night, the worst plus-minus in NBA Finals history. So I can't be too high on him right now, but I think J-Dub could possibly be their number 2. I think Chet could even be their number 3. So I don't know about Chet being more marketable than Tyrese, especially with all the shots he's made in this playoffs, all the big shots. I mean, 4 different game winners, 4 different crazy comebacks. I think Tyrese has actually made himself a little bit more valuable to the media with how the clutch factor has been in this playoffs. So I think it could go either way for how the media wants it. But, I mean, hopefully the refs and the media don't have any impact and it's just playing some good ball.
No, I get what you're saying. I guess the reason why I'm anti-Tyrese is marketable is because the everyday fans, in my opinion, have not given Tyrese the respect he deserves throughout the entirety of his career. That's the thing. Because I think he should be. And I've been saying way before this that Tyrese is underappreciated by NBA fans.
Yeah.
So, and so maybe that's it. I think I have a bias against the fans and a bias against the media in the way they've treated Tyrese. So that's maybe why I made the comment I made. Because you're right. Everything you're saying is right. But they like push Chet. Chet's in the AT&T commercials.
That's true. They do have a bunch of Chet commercials. They do like pushing him, but I'm hoping that maybe the tides flip with how he's played in the playoffs. And also, I think the entire NBA voted on who they think the most overrated player is, and Tyrese Halliburton was voted the most overrated in the league. So they could make some kind of commercial out of like all his game winners and overrated who, or like some kind of corny thing that they would probably do, but. You know, they could make some kind of commercial out of that. So just thinking ahead, I could see that, you know, I'm going to come back to this, and if they do win the finals, there's going to be some, like 4 of his game winners, and it's going to be overrated, like on the big screen with a Nike Gatorade commercial, something like that.
There you go. I hope so. But trust me, I like Tyrese. I hope it happens. I hope you're right. I will be ecstatic if you're right.
I hope I am too. First Game 7 since 2016, I believe.
Yeah, there you go. Was that
in the finals? I think that was LeBron and Curry and Warriors. And Cavs.
Is that when they blew the 3-1 lead?
I think so. I think that was the last Game 7 in the finals.
Wow.
Been a minute.
I'm excited. All right, I do have one basketball debate I want to get to. It's not so NBA specific. I know our audience is not huge NBA. Sorry, went as long as we did. But let's take that time out. We're going to come back, and we are going to debate why in the NBA it seems that depth is more important. The announcers were talking about it last night. But when you go on the run in the NCAA tournament, the bench shrinks. We're going to talk about that on the other side.
Your roof is a vital part of protecting your home and family from dangerous storms and hurricanes. At Assist Roofing, we install and maintain metal roofing that provides precise protection. Add value to your home while lowering utility costs with a fortified roof to last a lifetime. With 0% financing, grants, and Energy Star Green Roofing tax credit available. Call us to schedule a free consultation so you can weather any storm with confidence.
Make every day electric on the Kawasaki Electro 20 electric balance bike. Maximize the fun with long run times, impressive top speed, and Kawasaki build quality. Easy adjustability and smooth handling make everyday riding more enjoyable. And the standard MTB type tires provide off-pavement capability. The Kawasaki Electro 20 is the electric balance bike that's built to rip. Go to Ron Ayers Motorsports, Memorial Drive north of the airport, Greenville.
Your confidence makes everything look good. You see the world in vivid color, not black and white. Swing through your neighborhood Fantastic Sam's Cut in color. And let our experienced stylists take you from everyday to extraordinary.
Fantastic Sam's hair salons are locally owned and operated. Our full-service salons are conveniently located in Goldsboro, Kinston, Greenville, New Bern, Jacksonville, and Calabash. Stop in today at Fantastic Sam's, where the possibilities are endless.
Acre Station Meat Farm, along with Lane Angus Beef, bring you Farm to Fork Beef.
Stock your freezers now with affordable beef boxes, just in time for the grilling season.
Farm to Fork Beef brings quality local beef to your family. From your traditional butcher shop, Acre Station Meat Farm. Come on down to Acre Station Meat Farm and find out why we're #1 in fresh cuts and friendly service.
Acre Station Meat Farm, Highway 32 North, Pinetown.
If you are interested in living longer and living stronger, Eastern Physical and Lifestyle Medicine is accepting new patients for a limited time. Finding a caring physician can be a challenge. Dr. Billy Smith is board certified in physical medicine and lifestyle medicine and has been practicing in the area for many years. Call for an appointment now to Eastern Physical and Lifestyle Medicine, 252-364-1108 in Greenville. That number again is 252-364-1108.
Looking for a great deal on a new Nissan?
At Greenville Nissan, we've got a great selection of new Nissans for under $30,000.
The stylish Nissan Sentra, offering top-notch fuel economy. The Nissan Altima, known for its comfort and technology.
The Nissan Kicks, the perfect combination with its compact design and performance. The Nissan Versa, delivering incredible value without compromising on features. And don't forget the Nissan Rogue, an award winner for 10 years in a row. Drive it home just for $22 down and $349 a month.
Visit GreenvilleNissan.com today.
Greenville Nissan, where we drive to serve.
Listen up. He's talking now.
Sorry, thought we were vibing.
The Patrick Johnson Show on 94.3 The Game.
Welcome back into the Friday Patrick Johnson Show. We're having a little quick debate here about why the college game and the NBA game are different. So during this NBA playoffs, they've been talking about, hey, can you buy each guy? They were talking about it early in the series with Shea. Can you buy him an extra couple minutes on the bench early in the game? He looked flat at the end of game one, looked tired. And last night they were saying that these are the two deepest teams in the NBA, and they're still standing, even though they don't have the best star power. Then in the college game, you think of like that 2022 Carolina team where Armando Bacot would play 40 minutes in the NCAA tournament. Like against Duke, he didn't sub out. I actually think Hubert Davis did not make any substitutions. Don't quote me if he did. It was just one or two. Like a guy came in and then came right back out in the entire second half in the Final Four. Why? I would say there's 4 or 5 different things. If we had more time, we'd go into all of them. But in your opinion, Dom, why is it that the college game, it's your starting 5, and the NBA game, it's who's got the better 8th and 9th man?
Yeah, I think it's just the length of the season. You know, it's an 82-game regular season. And the NBA, you try to play as much as you can because load management is frowned upon. Unless you're injured, you try to play every single game. And we were talking about it. I mean, get into the finals, so it's about 100 games. So you're playing a whole heck of a lot more than you are in college. So you got to be careful with how much you play, when you play, if you're playing on some kind of nagging injury. And you got to, if they look tired, then that's what a good head coach should do in the NBA. And you sit them for when you can and try to get them in the minutes that you're able to. So I think the length and kind of the wear on the body from the length of the season is mostly the reason.
I'm going to take a little bit of the other approach. I'm going to say the wear throughout the game. I think the 8 more minutes of the NBA game does make a difference because that's when it seems that guys tend to kind of fold. Also, the shorter shot clock and the quickness of possessions, I think the body does take more wear and tear throughout an NBA game than the college game. And you know what? Even though these guys are peak athletes, I think there's a difference in a 27-year-old and a 21-year-old.
That's true.
I really do. I think that we our body starts to break down, maybe even though we say, hey, man, athletes maybe peak talent level, their upper 20s, early 30s, I think you peak like recovery. Well, you peak recovery-wise at like 7, right? When you're 7, you could play in the yard all day long, no problem, sun bearing down on you. You wake up the next morning, now tired, ready to go.
You're all good.
But I do think your body doesn't recover as well. I think those 20, 21-year-olds, man, I think they pop right back up.
I don't think my body recovers as well from 19 to now 22.
Yeah.
So I'm tired from playing basketball at the Rec now after a few games where I used to be able to play, 10 games straight. So now I can't imagine what they're doing playing 100 NBA games or just, longer NBA games with the shot clock difference like you mentioned. It is a lot of wear and tear on you, and I mean, credit to them. They keep their bodies in shape to be able to do it.
You know what else, too? Let's be honest. College kids are going back to the hotel room and drinking water.
Yeah.
NBA guys are going back and having a beer. It might be it.
That's true.
Drinking a beer, having a glass of bourbon before they go to bed.
They gotta. I mean, they're making more money. They're living their best life.
Yeah.
I guess maybe now NIL, if you're college, you got a better chance at making.
Yeah, but you're not half of them aren't 21.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Most of the good ones aren't, unless you're like
like Baycott was like 40.
Yeah. One of the 25-year-olds that's for some reason still in college.
I'm talking to you, Luke Larson. No, I'm kidding. All right, that's it. We're inside 45 seconds now. I kind of want to go longer than that, but we went too long on baseball. So we hope you guys enjoyed the show today. I know it was a little less maybe formal, not much Pirate talk. Speaking of Pirates, one thing we did not hit with the MLB, unfortunately, Zach Agnos has been sent back down to AAA Albuquerque. Hopefully this is just a short stint. He had a few bad outings, so I think it's probably good. Keep his confidence up, getting down there, get a couple more good works. Anyways, thanks to Dom. Thanks to you guys for listening. It was fun. PJ will be back on Monday. I don't think we have a guest lineup yet for Monday. Still trying to figure it out. A couple weeks before our summer hiatus, but that'll do it for the Friday edition of the Patrick Johnson Show. Have a good weekend, everybody.